podcast of the Jacksonville Public Library.
I'm Hurley Winkler.
And I'm Jenna Hassel.
We are joined in studio today by the phenomenal early childhood specialist, Susan Mankowski.
Hello.
Hello, Susan. How are you doing today?
Good, Hurley. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing great. Yeah. So we have an exciting episode talking about the traveling tales at the Jacksonville Public Library, among other things, of course, but we'll get into that later. Can you, Susan, tell us a little bit about the traveling tales?
Absolutely. So these are kits. They're our Storytime Kits that you can check out. It's considered one checkout from the Jacksonville Public Library. But in that one checkout, it includes 6 to 8 books on a theme. So if it's ducks, it'll be 6 to 8 duck books. That also comes with a flannel board and a flannel board activity. And for people who aren't sure what that means, it's little cutouts, like think of a puppet but flat, that they can put on the flannel and put it on and take it off and put it on and take it off. We usually have a story or a poem that goes along with that as well. So you can throw that on the back of your couch and your children can interact with the flannel, which is like magic to them. They love it. We also will have a music CD that is also based on the theme. Sometimes there will be a movie. So think about like Reading Rainbow, where it's a slightly animated movie that goes with one of the books that is also part of the theme. And then we'll have something called a manipulative. And a manipulative is a toy or a puppet or a puzzle also based on the theme. And then our biggest, asset in the kit is something called a manual. So in the manual, on page 4, if you go from beginning to end, that is a Jacksonville Public Library story time. We tell you what books to do and when, the songs to sing, when to use the flannel activity, everything. But if you want more songs, we'll give you more duck songs, and we'll give you an art activity suggestion, and then also snack activity suggestions.
Oh,
nonfiction, everything.
Because you got to have the snacks.
Right?
I mean, it's incomplete without the snacks.
Exactly.
So for a duck traveling tale,
correct,
what might the snack be? No. Okay, we don't have to ask that. I was just really curious.
I don't know. Do ducks eat goldfish?
Maybe. We'll
be.
never know.
We'll never know. Yeah, that's. I'm actually not exactly sure what's in the duck. That was just the first thing I came up with.
Okay.
But there are at least 2 snack activities, at least 2 art activities, and the reason it's not popping into my mind immediately is because there's 76 themes. So
whoa.
Yes, so there's 76 themes. And each bag has 6 to 8 books, the music, the movie, the manipulatives, the manual, all those ideas. So yeah, I'm sorry. The duck snack idea.
I don't expect you to remember that. I would have been surprised.
76 early childhood themes and 10 school-age themes.
Wow,
so
that's incredible.
Does every library have traveling tales that people can check out?
Every library has access to them. Because they're so big, they're housed at the main library, but they're just like any other material where you can go on the catalog and put it on hold, and we'll send it to whatever is the most convenient location for you. Or you can come down and visit the main library, and we can let you know what we have in the back. And they do have them. We base them on themes, on seasons, and then general themes like ducks, alphabet, I'm trying to think, Earth Day, things like that.
Very cool. Well, our guests on this podcast, their names are Angelina and Berkeley. They are 2 young science lovers, and they especially loved the space-themed traveling tale.
Yes.
Yeah, they said there was a doll inside, and they just loved it. Yeah, movie too.
I think it's the astronaut puppet.
Yeah,
yes.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
she loved
it was
that
a puppet.
Yeah, and we actually have a video of Angelina opening that traveling tales bag that we reposted on our Instagram and Facebook account. It's the cutest thing.
So cute. Yes, everybody go to @JacksLibrary and check that out right now. So Susan, our guests today are very interested in science. What advice might you have for parents of kids who show this early interest in science?
Sure. And actually, my argument is every child this age is a natural scientist, because we're just experimenting and exploring our world around us to see how it works. So sometimes as parents, we can shy away from science activities because we think it's just too difficult, or they won't understand, or how do I break it down for them, when in reality, everything is a science experiment. So that's my first argument, is to look at this as how you can create little experiences for your child throughout the day and let them explore and, just explore. So for example, using the books that we had in the traveling tale kits, or the space one that you were talking about, using the books as the start of the conversation, bringing that background knowledge. What's great about picture books, which are the books that have a lot of visuals, like they have the illustrations that go with minimal text. So when you have those, you're creating background knowledge. Now, it could be factual or not. And one of the great things then start the conversation of, could a pig really go into space? How would that look? What would we do, right? What's going to happen when they get to space? So you start the conversation, then you can create experiences around that book. So then maybe it is going to Mosh and then looking at their science experience, or going into the planetarium and learning more about it. But starting with the book is always a great starting point, and then creating the experiences around it.
Very cool. Aside from books, what sorts of resources do we have in our children's library to assist kids who love reading and learning about science?
Sure. And actually, again, if you're thinking about the concept of children at this young age of 2 and 4, that anything that they are just natural scientists, we also have the Play and Learn stations, which are toys that we have purchased specifically for the birth to 5 age group that they can explore. So there's blocks, there's puzzles, there's musical instruments, there's mazes, things that develop that style of thinking and curiosity. But then also, I would also look at our art programs that we have. Because at this age, it's not that they are making the snowman, it's that they are putting the circles together to see how these circles work together, right? It's also, what happens if I put these 2 colors together? What happens with this texture, right? So even our art programs really are very basic science programs at their heart.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. That totally makes sense because it's all experimentation.
It is.
That's what it is.
What can we do with this at this time?
Yeah.
Now, not everything might not be refrigerator worthy or send to grandma and grandpa, but they get to see what happens when I experiment with these materials. What can I create with the dough or with the finger paints or whatever it is that we're playing with that day.
Wonderful.
Also, Regency Branch Library currently has a Stories for Science program, what's called Young Scientist. And what they do is every Friday morning that they do science programs, again, just for this age group, where we have a story time, and then the follow-up is science stations based on the theme of the day.
That seems fun. That's almost like what Angelina has sort of started doing at Highlands. She did her own little experiment, she said.
I heard about this.
Yeah, and taught kids a pretty basic science experiment. But that's a great practice for her to be up in front of all of her peers.
Absolutely.
Explaining how it works to them. I think, I would be too scared to do that as a kid. So she's pretty brave
to
too.
do that now.
I know. What
I
a
am
brave
not
little girl.
getting up in front of a bunch of people, kids no less, which are probably the worst critics of all time, and talking about science, which I know nothing about. She is brave.
All I want to do is play with you. And I think that is the biggest takeaway for our parents and for other kids who want to go out and share their love and their passion with other people. All they want to do is play with you. So how do you get that across? So with the parents, it's not the lecture of this is the science topic that we're going, and now we're going to Mosh, but like, that was really interesting. Let's see if we can go to the zoo and see if we can find animals like this. And then make it a game. Like it's a scavenger hunt. Like, can we find the meerkats? Can we find the cheetahs? So how do you turn it into a game rather than a wonderful visit to the zoo is a wonderful visit to the zoo, but how can we enhance that experience? That's where you're bringing the science in. Skills of observation, color identification, things like that.
Great. Yeah. Well, Susan, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us more about Traveling Tales and science activities. It's been fun talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now we'll go on to the next part of our show, which is a very exciting interview with our youngest guests yet. Their names are Angelina and Berkeley, and they are 2 young ladies known as Science Sis. And their mom, Erica, joined us on the show, and we had a blast talking to them. So without further ado, here are Angelina, Berkeley, and Erica.
So, Angelina, how old are you?
4.
4. And Berkeley, how old are you?
2.
You're 2. How old is your mom? No guesses? They always guess so young.
Yeah.
I feel like are so old. So, Angelina, do you like going to the library?
Mm-hmm.
You do? What do you like best about going to the library?
Story time.
You go to story time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And singing.
You sing songs at story time?
Yeah, and playing.
And there's lots of toys in the children's
Oh,
libraries.
yeah. Have you ever danced to the Hokey Pokey
Mm-mm.
at story time? No? Oh, we might have
man.
to dance to the Hokey Pokey before you guys leave.
For sure.
Somebody sing, then we dance to Teddy Bear song.
Ooh. Teddy
That's a
Bear
good
Song's a good song.
That's a hit. It's a classic.
What about you, Berkeley? Do you like going to the library? You don't?
No?
What about the Traveling Tales bags? Do you guys like getting Traveling Tales? Yeah. Tell us what the Traveling Tales is.
Traveling Tales is like a book of bags, and it has a lot of books in it.
Right. And you guys had one recently. Or do you have one right now? Do you have a Traveling Tales bag at home right now?
No,
No. What was your favorite one?
I like the monster one.
Ooh.
That sounds scary.
Were they fun monsters?
Yeah, but some of them were not.
Some were a little scary?
Yeah,
Yeah. So you also love science.
yeah.
Tell us what you like most about science projects.
Well, I like science because Mommy loves it.
Yeah, your mommy loves science? Erica, how did you get them into this science project?
It started probably when Angelina was around, I would say 2 years old. And just simple things like going to the dollar store, buying the little, I don't know what it's called, to create a funnel, to create a tornado. So we put two liter bottles together and created a tornado, and just watching her reaction. That's kind of how it started off. And then just sharing that with her grandmother, who lives in North Carolina. And so from there, it just went on into a life of its own.
And you do science as your career, right? Or engineering?
Yeah, so I went to school for computer science. Do you want to say hi? Say hi. She's itching to say something. Say hi.
Hi.
Perfect.
So I went to school for computer science, and then I moved to Silicon Valley to work for IBM as a software engineer. I did that, and then from there, it's what people don't know is that I went to get my master's in instructional design, which is basically teaching people different learners how to learn, and then adding technology. So it's very natural with my daughters. Just watching their little brains work, just seeing how they create and solve problems from just looking at things and asking questions. So it's just natural for me.
And how old were they when you started taking them to the library?
I started with Angelina at 6 months.
Oh,
so
wow.
I would look at the schedule for story times, and then I waited until she was 6 months, and I took her there every Wednesday to Highlands with Miss Beverly and Miss Felicia.
That's awesome.
And we still go there, and they remember them, and so that's kind of it sparked. I blame them for her love of learning, her love of reading. So yeah,
We will take that blame for sure. And I hear you guys are doing your own little science experiments at the library. Is that right?
Yeah,
You have? So tell us about the experiment that you did with the other kids at the library.
I did. I showed them the lava lamp.
Lava lamp.
And you need Alka-Seltzer and water beads, and it's fun to play with.
So you showed everyone how to make that at the library, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And you guys record all of these experiments and put them on your own Instagram account, right?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Mm,
You guys are pretty popular.
I don't even think they understand. I don't think they know
Right.
what Instagram is, but yeah.
and we make blueberry muffins.
Oh, yeah.
Blueberry muffins. Scientists have to stay fed. So
That's
that's
true. And cooking is the best science. Well, it's the tastiest science, I think.
Yummy.
I like strawberry muffins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds like we got a sibling rivalry going on. Muffins.
Yes, I don't know if they really understand the Instagram page, but I started recording them probably in November for their grandmother. Their grandmother is a retired teacher, and she lives in North Carolina. And I would do these science experiments with her, and I would record them and send them to her, and she would share with her friends. And then everyone, more adults than anything, would love it. They're like, we love these science experiments. You should do more and tag us. And also just showing other young or parents with young children how we can start doing it now, because I got frustrated with so many different experiments or activities or programs with the age limit. So most of the things you have to start at 5 years old. So I just tried to find things that were easy for them to do it too, and then just sharing those with other parents. Then from there, I just kept it up. Yeah.
So you mostly did it as a resource for other parents to kind of replicate what you guys have been doing at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly what I did.
That's awesome.
Angelina, have you seen any of the videos of yourself on the internet? No?
They're super cute.
They are really cool. That's how we found out about you. We saw one of your videos. It was awesome.
So did you love math and science and stuff as a kid too, Erica?
I did. I think I loved math and science, probably science more. I didn't even realize it, that I loved it. My mom loves to share a story of me when I was 7 years old. I have two younger sisters, but my youngest one, she was out of her crib, and my mom didn't want to put down the crib, and I asked her for a screwdriver, specifically a Phillips head screwdriver, and I took the entire crib down at 7 years old. Wow. So I remember kind of tinkering with things, and Berkeley is kind of like that, just naturally wanting to take things apart and put it back together. And then from there, I was in science fairs. I remember representing my high school in a science fair for bottom-dwelling organisms, so I was always interested in math and science.
Yeah. And it seems like you're passing it along to the next generation.
I am. I just want to pass along the love of learning more than anything. And then just science experiments that they do, they don't realize that they're learning. Just putting little dots in their brain so later on when they learn complicated concepts, it's easier for them to connect the dots. And so just passing on the love of learning and critical thinking, which is one of the skills that's kind of harder to develop with the toys that are marketed for little girls. Mm-hmm. So just trying to give them options in a broader way of thinking.
So, Angelina, do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
What's that?
A doctor and a scientist.
Very cool.
That is perfect. Looks like you are learning right now to be that.
You're already wearing a lab coat. What else do you need? You
You're
got
right.
it. You got this in the bag, I think.
For sure.
And what about you, Berkeley? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm very curious. What do you want to be when you grow up, Berkeley?
She's thinking
every
about
day.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It changes for me every day,
changes
too.
every
It's
day.
okay.
Berkeley, I thought you want to be a doctor.
Do you want to be a doctor, Berkeley? No.
No, not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Want to be a painter?
Want to be a painter?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Do you like drawing and coloring? Yeah. That's a good career field then. Erica, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Believe it or not, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I was talking to my husband about that last night. It's in 6th grade. I remember me and my best friend, Crystal Climbs at the time, we wanted to be aeronautical engineers. And Daryl was like, that's awesome. How did you know you wanted to do that? As a kid, I still don't, I didn't know that. But yeah, I don't know why I wanted to do it. Something with space, something with math, something with, I don't know, being challenged at the time. Sorry.
There's a lot to tinker with in here. Yeah.
So I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer. And then in high school, I just continued to take technology. I went to a math, science, and technology high school. So I was able to kind of just figure out exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, Berkeley and Angelina, thank you so much for coming on our podcast today.
You're welcome.
Are you doing any more future experiments at the library? Do you have any scheduled yet?
Not yet, but we're we're gonna try. We tried one out, and it was a big success. A lot of people. I'm in a moms group, so I invited some moms. But then when we were there, we saw some moms and kids around. I'm like, hey, you want to come and do science experiments? You want to do science experiments with us? And they came, and so we got a good reception. So we're going to try to do a monthly thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Your lab coats are amazing.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Thank you so much. Berkeley, can you say bye to everyone?
Bye.
Bye. Angelina, can you say bye?
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Thank
so
you.
much for having
so
us.
much.
Angelina and Berkeley are just the cutest things. And if you haven't before, you have to go on our website and check out the pictures of them in their little lab coats because they're adorable.
It is like, I can't even believe how cute it is. I really can't. It like breaks the barrier of cute.
We also have a video of them singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Yes, and one of my favorites, the alphabet song.
Yes.
Yes.
So that'll be up on our Facebook page as well. And you can see more of the Science Sis videos on their Instagram account at Science Sis. And we also have one of their videos on our Facebook page as well. So check that out.
Yes, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Jack's Library. And
Leave us a review.
yes,
5
leave us a
stars.
review. 5 stars.
5 stars.
6 if they'll let you. I don't think they will, though.
No.
They don't do that yet.
No, but you can leave like an actual rating and write the 6-star review you have in your heart.
Right. You can say, I'm giving 5 stars, but I wish I could give 6. Yeah,
Just
we
write it
should
down.
do it.
Just as good.
7 stars, that works too. Make sure you visit jackspubliclibrary.org/podcast to see some photos from this episode and listen to other episodes of Completely Booked, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Indeed. And also, we'll have a link on our website too for Traveling Tales. You can check those out. They're pretty sweet.
They are pretty sweet. What's your favorite Traveling Tales theme? Do you have one?
I don't know. I just saw the princes and princesses in there. There's one about teeth.
Yeah, teeth. That sounds interesting.
Just
Teeth
wanna-
are fascinating.
I agree.
Yeah, I would check out a traveling tale on teeth.
Just to see what it would be about.
Yeah, exactly. What is the teeth snack?
I don't know.
Here,
Ooh.
eat this with your teeth.
It's not candy because that's not good for your
That's
teeth.
not good for your teeth. No, it has to be something very healthy and sugar-free. Yeah, I think my favorite that I saw was horses because I love horses. But I also saw, and I don't know if I agree with this pairing, they put mermaids and pirates together in the same bag.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe
We'll
it's
see.
a good one.
We'll
I mean,
check it
I
out.
love a good mermaid, love a good pirate. So, hey, why not
Maybe they're
have
friends.
2 in 1? I just talked myself out of not liking that.
You like it now?
I like it now, yeah.
Decided
I think
it could be
makes
cool.
sense,
Yeah.
Pirates and mermaids belong together.
Yeah.
Yes. Traveling Tales. Check them out, y'all. This podcast was produced by Brian Thomas, a.k.a. BT, a.k.a. Producer Brian. Goodbye!
Little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above, so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Yay! Perfect.